Alright, verse 16. He held 7 stars in his right hand, and a sharp two-edged sword came out of his mouth. Well, obviously you must interpret this because a sharp two-edged sword, unless he was a sword swallower, did not come out of his mouth. And you've seen it. But I don't think that's what he means. So we've got to interpret it. And I think, I've been told that I have a sword in my mouth and that a lot of what I say is fairly cutting. And I think a lot of people do, and we have to be careful what we say. Like, if we say go fuck yourself to people and they really think we mean go fuck yourself in an unpleasant way, then we're actually abusing our ability to control the speech. So if I ever say go fuck yourself, I mean it pleasantly and to do it however you best enjoy it. And I think when people say go fuck yourself, they mean don't be so uptight, relax, and really go have sex with yourself, or sex with somebody else, or sex with 3 other people. And did that come out of there? No, wait. Next verse. The next verse is towards the end of verse 17, and it's a great one. Don't be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. Now, this can mean so many different things. One of the things I think it means, and it could mean, and it should mean, is that we are the gods. Up until now, we have been living and dying and living and dying and living and dying and not remembering much about what has happened. But we are starting to remember by looking at the rocks that we were fish. So this is perhaps a funny way of remembering, but it's still real. We can look at our DNA, we can look at our genes, and we can start to picture that we were the fish and that we've evolved all the way 4 billion years from practically nothing, mineral mixes and chemical mixes, through 4 billion years to become this. And what was the point going to be? Oh yes, we have lived and died countless times and we are part of eternity. And if you don't think it's saying that, well, you tell me what you think it's saying. But I think that's a really cool thing to say, and I give John 3 points, 3 bonus points, and I don't even think he's lost any for being too out of his head. And I have a feeling by the time we get to the end of it, he's going to be up there to about 36 points. And why is 36 such an important number? Well, because 6 is so an important number. It's not really important. It's just nice and round. It has 2 bunches of 3. It sits in a row nicely. It's the number of fingers in one penis. But I think it's very Babylonian, and a lot of what we do with 6, 12, 24, or 36, it's just a way of counting, different than 5s, 10s, 15s, and 20s. And I think the 6 is just simply more elegant. And I don't think there's any real reason that the Babylonians used the number 6 or 36. They probably put some reasons onto it afterwards. That's usually what happens. You randomly say the word 6, 6, 6, 6, and people start picking up on it. Or they don't, and they stick with the number 5, which is a fine number, but I like the number 6. Some people like the number 7. In fact, the number 7 is mentioned here quite a bit, and we go right on back down. We won't even stop the camera here, down to the end of the verse of the chapter, and we'll finish up with the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. And you could also say there were 6 fish in the bowl, and in the bowl were 6 fishes, and the 6 fishes represented, God. Yeah, they represented, this fish were the fish, and the person observing the fish was the God. Okay? Well, if you don't believe it, don't worry. You're not supposed to believe it. You're supposed to think. And if you don't think, you should think, then I think you should go to GodTube or whatever it's called now, where all the Christians are going. Go there and suffocate yourself in small-minded pettiness and mockery and bitter hypocrisy. And we'll free our minds, because the truth shall set the truth shall set you free. We've got a long way to go to reach the truth. I don't think we're going to get it in one like lump. You don't get a lump of truth, but you get truths. You get bits of truths. You get to see clearly. You get to see clearly, more clear. And we have become creatures that can see much more clear than, let's say, snails. And you think this might be a joke, but it's not. That's a lot of evolution to get from a snail, the snail was probably branched off before, it's like a distant cousin. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Have a very beautiful day. Remember, gods love you, and you are one of them.